Welcome to the Select Board meeting of Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Please join the board in the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Canty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to changes made to the open meeting law by the legislature, this meeting is going to take place in a hybrid format. We have members of the public that may be joining us online. We have members of the public that are joining us here in person. Anyone that wishes to view or participate in our meetings may do so by joining us in person at Town Hall, currently in the Great Hall, or by joining us via Zoom, via our Zoom login information, which are posted on the website in our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Canty. Now we're going to have the badge pinning ceremony for new members of the fire department. Chief Foley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the board. Really happy to be here tonight. We do have a badge pinning ceremony for 4 of our recruit firefighters that recently graduated from the Stowe Fire Academy. And then after that, we're going to have a promotional badge pinning for a firefighter that was recently promoted to lieutenant. Good evening. We are here tonight to commemorate the accomplishments of these dedicated men. Every day, firefighters risk their lives to ensure the safety of our community. They are the ones who are first to respond and provide assistance when we need it most. This ceremony is a special occasion to recognize their hard work and dedication. They have all exhibited strength, courage, and commitment to serving others and are an asset to our community. I'd also like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the family and friends who have supported these firefighters throughout their journey. Your love, support, and encouragement have helped them perform their duties with confidence and pride. Whether it's being absent from home for 10 weeks to attend the fire academy or spending countless hours studying to be successful in a promotional exam, it's our families who take up the slack so that we can pursue our calling. To the firefighters being honored tonight, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Your passion for your work is an inspiration to all of us. While this night is about recognizing your individual accomplishments, always keep in mind that without the support of our community, our mission would be much more difficult. And with that, I'd like to ask the 4 firefighters to come up in front of the crowd. And while you're doing that, I'm going to introduce you all. As I mentioned earlier, all these firefighters recently passed all the exams and testing after completing the 10-week rigorous Massachusetts Firefighting Academy in Stowe, Massachusetts, one of the premier firefighting academies in the country. All the way down the end is firefighter Matthew Duggan. Matt is a graduate of Arlington High School, served in the U.S. Marine Corps as Marine Raider. Firefighter Duggan has earned his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certification and is also certified in hazardous materials first responder at the operational level. He is assigned to Group 2, Station 1, and tonight Firefighter Duggan will be pinned by his fellow firefighter, Joe Galafaro. To Matt's left is Firefighter Scott LaPlante, a graduate of Excel High School in Indiana, Minnesota. He served in the U.S. Army as a U.S. Army Ranger. He has earned his Firefighter 1 and 2 certifications, hazardous material first responder operational level. Firefighter LaPlante received the Richard N. Bangs Award, given to the outstanding student in each recruit class who excelled in the Fire Academy training program. Quite an honor. Congratulations. He is assigned to Group 1, Station 1, and Firefighter LaPlante will be pinned by his wife, Sarah. To Scott's left is Firefighter Sean McManus, a graduate of James Madison High School in Atlanta, Georgia. He served in the U.S. Army as a cavalry scout. Firefighter McManus has earned his firefighter 1 and 2 and hazardous materials first responder operational level. He is assigned to Group 3, Station 1. Firefighter McManus will be pinned by his wife, Janelle. To Sean's left is firefighter Andrew Moss, a graduate of Plymouth South High School. He served in the U.S. Navy as a firefighter, and firefighter Moss has earned his firefighter 1 and 2 certification, hazardous material first responder operational level, and is assigned to Group 4, Station 1. Firefighter Moss will be pinned by his wife, Kelsey. And while firefighter Moss is getting pinned, I just want to further go into detail. I know we recognize Scott LaPlante for achieving the Richard and Bangs Award. Several of the senior instructors that are up at the academy were junior instructors when I went up to the academy, and pulled me aside and let me know what quality that we have in our 4 firefighters that are here in Plymouth. Each one of them were leaders. Each one of them excelled up at the academy or recognized for their achievements. So I just want to give them all a round of applause. At this time, I'd like to ask Kelly McElrath, our town clerk, to come up to the podium to swear them in.
So if you can all raise your right hand, and you're going to repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as a firefighter of the Fire Department for the town of Plymouth, according to the best of my abilities and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth. So help me God. I promise to impart my professional standards of quality and integrity so that the conduct of the affairs of the department shall be above reproach and merit public confidence in the department. Congratulations.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you guys want to get any pictures with anybody, greet the board, anything like that, appreciate it. Thank you. That's what happens. You invite firefighters over, we break stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah. Gentlemen, I believe you forgot some items up here. As part of that, thank you for the family. Hey, there you go. You give it to him. So I'm also happy to report that we've had 3 recent promotions within the Plymouth Fire Department. Unfortunately, 2 of the gentlemen couldn't join us here today, but I still want to publicly recognize their achievements. Lieutenant Mark Helminiak was appointed to the Plymouth Fire Department on June 5th, 2000. He served as a provisional lieutenant in 2016 and then promoted to, Milroy, thank you, was promoted to lieutenant in 2016 to lieutenant on September 19, 2023. Captain James Kelly was appointed to the Plymouth Fire Department November 20th, 2006. He was promoted to lieutenant on April 11th, 2017, and then promoted to captain September 11th, 2023. Lieutenant Milroy and Captain Kelly were unable to be present at this meeting. They were away traveling. However, we do have tonight Lieutenant Christopher Green. Please step forward. Lieutenant Green is a 17-year veteran of the Plymouth Fire Department, a graduate of Stoughton High School. Served in the United States Marine Corps as a crash fire rescue firefighter. Lieutenant Green was appointed to the Plymouth Fire Department November 20th, 2006. He has earned his Firefighter 1 and 2 hazardous materials certification and was promoted to lieutenant on September 19th, 2023. Lieutenant Green has been assigned to Group 2, Station 1, Engine 1. His achievement is made possible by the support of his family and his wife, Rebecca. Tonight, Lieutenant Green will be pinned by his brother, Firefighter Austin Green. And I'd like to invite Kelly McElrath back up to the podium to swear in Lieutenant Green.
They need to hear you on the mic. You're going to be close to the back.
All right.
Raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I, Christopher Green,
I, Christopher Green,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
and perform all the duties
and perform all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a lieutenant
as a lieutenant
of the Fire Department
of the Fire Department
for the town of Plymouth,
for the town of Plymouth,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably to the rules
agreeably to the
and
rules
the regulations
and the
of
regulations
the Constitution
of the Constitution
and the laws of the Commonwealth,
and the laws of the
so
Commonwealth.
help me God.
So help me God.
I promise to impart
I promise to impart
to my professional standards
to my professional standards
of quality and integrity,
of quality and integrity,
so that the conduct
so that the conduct
of the affairs
of the affairs
of the department
shall
be above reproach
be above reproach
and merit public confidence
and merit public confidence
in the department.
in the department.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lieutenant.
Thanks, Kelly. So that concludes our ceremony for tonight. I really do appreciate the opportunity to share this all with you. It's excellent news. We, sometimes come and we don't have the greatest things to report, so it's very good for us to be able to get out, get into our dress uniforms, our Class A's, and, show off a little bit. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Chief. Next on the agenda is the NIP ban referendum question. Town Clerk, Mrs. McElrath.
No. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Has the memo that was forwarded to you about 4 or 5 days ago, there was a petition initiative going on in the town of Plymouth in order to have a referendum on the bylaw that was passed under Article 15 of the Fall Town Meeting on October 21. They were required to get at least 1,459 signatures, and they got 1,810. We certified those signatures within 2 days of it. So according to the Charter of 5-6-2, I'm here before the Select Board to figure out or work out a date to call the special election for this referendum and move forward to do this within the 90 days as required by the Charter. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Mr. Canty?
Thank you. Kelly, do you have a recommendation for a date?
Yeah, so as you know, 2024 is going to be a busy day in the election world for national and local elections. As you may be aware, we do have an election that will be on March 5th, which is the presidential primary. Also, a lot of people know that as Super Tuesday, and that's when Massachusetts votes. So we will be in the process of getting ready for that election on March 5th. That being said, the Votes Act of 2022 requires the state to mail out postcards to allow any registered voter to request a vote-by-mail ballot. I've talked to the state, and those postcards are due to go out on January 15th. They're required by law to go out at that date, because I think it's 45 days or whatever it is before that election. My concern, I will do everything in my ability to get people to vote and vote by mail. I'm also going to recommend that we do in-person early voting, which we can talk to about at a later time. But I really feel like for less confusion of the voters, that we do the election on January 13th, which is before those postcards go out, because if we do it on the 20th or the 27th of January, then I will be getting those postcards in, and if they say all elections, it's going to cause a lot of confusion on whether or not they're getting the NIP ban ballot or not. I've always, as town clerk for the last 22 years, want to give the voters every opportunity to vote, but having it on the 13th allows, I believe, less confusion, and we can almost wrap everything up before we have to gear up for the March 5th presidential primary. I've talked to the schools. It's a Saturday. We would be having, because 15, I think 12 of our 13 of our 15 polling locations are located at schools, and they will have to make some cancellations of some weekend activities for January 13th. But that's the least impact, not that that matters, but that's the least impact to the schools' activities. It is the Saturday of Martin Luther King weekend. I will admit that. I'm not crazy about that for that reason alone. I'm just giving you the facts. It's up to you to make that decision. The reasoning why I'm looking at the 13th for the reasons above, and I believe if we wait till the 20th or the 27th, it's just going to cause more confusions. And having it on a Saturday, if people are going away for that long weekend, they definitely can vote by mail, or they can do the in-person early voting that I'm anticipating that the registrars and the select board will approve.
And what, I know we're going to talk about early voting at a later time, but what do you envision as being an early voting schedule if we were to go with the 13th?
So if we were to have it on the 13th, I would start it on Saturday, January 6th. I would not have Sunday hours. I find that Sunday hours, a lot of people don't come out, but if people want me to do it on Sunday, I will. And then do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm required by law to shut it down 48 hours before the election, so I wouldn't be able to do it any later than Wednesday, whatever that date is, at 4 o'clock. So it would give the voters 4 days to come into town hall with no excuse. They can just come in, and we would have the ballot available for them to vote.
And it would be during the entirety of town hall hours on the days when
Correct.
it's
So
available? And then Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday we would probably do 9 to 3. That's what we've done in the past. Monday would be 7:30 to 4. Tuesday would be 7:30 to 6:30. Wednesday would be 7:30 to 4. And again, we would do as much as we could on social media and publicity. And I'm sure the proponents and the opponents of this question will be able to get their voters to know that and advertise that well in advance of when the election will be and the opportunities for voters to vote.
Thank you.
Mr. Helm, then Mr. Bledsoe.
Thank you.
Kelly, bear with me. I'm going to ask you to explain some things so it becomes maybe a little bit more clear to both myself and people either in the audience here or watching from home, because you ran through that pretty quickly. What is the 90-day deadline?
I believe it's February 5th.
February 5th. So that's Monday, February 5th. If we have it on Saturday, January 13th, okay, there will be no ability for mail-in ballots.
No, there will be.
There will be?
Oh, yeah, there will be. The reason why you have the 35 days in the charter that you can't book it any earlier than 35 days is that gives me the opportunity to have you approve the question and vote it and give me plenty of opportunity to get the ballots printed and get them out probably 3 weeks before the 13th.
So, in other words, you would be sending them out 1, 2, 3 right at Christmas time. The 23rd is the Saturday, is the third Saturday before.
Well, I would anticipate that at your next meeting, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, on the 14th, no, 21st. So if they are voted on the 3-week select board, the 3-week is what the state recommends. There's nothing that says I have to hold them for 3 weeks. So my recommendation is that we would get the question prepared for your vote, as well as the warrant, and have it ready for November 21st. And as soon as that's voted, it will probably take maybe a week at the most, maybe 2 weeks, to get the ballots. And that brings us to the beginning of December. And then I will start mailing out those ballots as soon as they are received by anyone that has requested them.
Okay, talk to me about, with timing, in your mind, any, if any, potential difficulties in those residents of ours who spend 4 months of the year in Florida, for example.
Registered voters can request a ballot by email. In other words, they can sign an application and take a picture of it and email it to me, and I can mail them a ballot in Florida, and then they just need to get it back to me or mail it back to the office by January, if we are going with the January 13th date, by the close of the polls on that date.
Okay. What is the statutes in terms of reporting of campaign funds?
Campaign finance is governed by the Office of Campaign Finance. Any opponent or proponent of a ballot question, this is what is considered, would need to establish a ballot committee. That is a document that I can definitely supply anyone with, and it pretty much gives who's the officers, the president, the vice president, the treasurer of the ballot committee. And then they are required 7 days prior to the election to submit a campaign finance form, which talks about the expenditures that they made, as well as any campaign donations. Donations that they received, and that's required 7 days in advance, and then and then another report is required 30 days after the election.
Okay, the ones that are 7 days in advance, when is that information available to the public?
As soon as I get it, I will post it to the website, or I will give it to anyone that requests it, has a public records request. It's immediately available.
So immediately available?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Kelly, thanks. So how many days out would that be is the 13th? How many days out?
I didn't count that. Well, it's just under 60 days, because today's November 7th.
So it's an adequate amount of time that, obviously there's going to be a campaign, probably both sides will campaign on this. And I like the fact that this is going to eliminate, both groups will be able to get out the hopefully accurate information, and our citizens can make their decision, because this to me is a very important vote, and I don't want any confusion, and I don't want anybody not to say that they couldn't vote, they weren't able to vote. It's very clear that it's going to be, there's no excuse not to vote on this if you choose to. So, like I said, it's very important. This is a bylaw that's going to ban a legal substance. It's telling the citizens they can't buy something that is legal, that they want to buy. So this is, to me, it's a very serious, which is the reason why I voted against it. And so I just hope everybody understands how important it is, and they get out the votes. And I hope we get facts, and not numbers that don't make sense. And I hope we get facts out there so people can make the educated decision on this vote. So anyway, thank you.
Mr. Mahoney? No?
Kelly, given Given that we're up against a 90-day time frame, I think your recommendation of the 13th Saturday in January makes perfect sense. I completely agree with you. You don't want cross-pollination between multiple elections, and whatever makes your job easier, I certainly support.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this? Please identify yourself for the record. Make sure the green light's on. Thank you.
Good evening. Rich Cirque, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 2. As you know, at the October 21 town meeting members voted to prohibit the sale of nips by package stores as of July 1, 2024. And as you know, our charter provides that any town meeting vote can be challenged if a petition signed by at least 3% of the town's registered voters is submitted to the town clerk within 10 days of the town meeting vote. The package store lobby, supported by the Massachusetts package store lobby, did just that, presumably by collecting signatures at the checkout counters of Plymouth's 16 package stores. I want to address both the procedure and then the substance of the package store lobby's challenge. With respect to the procedure, town meeting requires that a town-wide referendum must now be held, at which the electorate will be asked whether the town meeting vote prohibiting the sale of nips should be upheld. And tonight we learned that the referendum will occur on January 13. According to the town clerk, the total cost of holding this referendum will be approximately $57,000. Forcing this referendum was not the only way in which the package store lobby could have challenged the October 21 town meeting vote. The package store lobby could simply have chosen to submit a 10-signature citizens petition for inclusion on the April 2024 spring annual town meeting warrant, at which town meeting members would then have been asked whether or not to repeal their October 21 town meeting vote. That option would have cost the taxpayers nothing, zero. And since the NIPS ban is scheduled to be effective only on July 1, 2024, it would have been in time to avoid any loss to the package stores. Instead, the package store lobby has forced the town unnecessarily to spend $57,000 of the taxpayers' money to further their own agenda. The package store lobby is making the taxpayers pay $57,000 for a referendum do-over when it could have arranged for a cost-free town meeting do-over. The package store lobby is playing with the House's money rather than with their own to further their own agenda. Think about how that $57,000 might have been better spent if it were applied toward the cost of school lunches or affordable housing, rather than for subsidizing a totally unnecessary referendum. This fact alone should persuade Plymouth voters to uphold the town meeting vote. As to the substance, we all know that nips are a major litter problem because of their small size. According to the Department of Planning and Development, 14,000 nips were recently collected over a 4-day period. This bag contains 300 nips. I know that because I counted them personally. That means that 47 such bags of nips were collected over that period. We also know that nips are a major environmental problem because they are not recycled and because they are not biodegradable. And finally, and most importantly to me, we also know that nips are a major public safety problem because they enable drivers, especially young drivers, to drink and drive by reducing the risk of being stopped with a visible open container. One final comment. By no means were the town meeting members teetotalers who supported the NIPS ban. As a Piappi's customer, I can personally vouch for that. Instead, the supporters of the NIPS ban were town meeting members who are committed in good faith to addressing the litter problem, the environmental problem, and the public safety problem caused by NIPS. If the liquor store lobby was more civic-minded, it would not have forced this expensive and unnecessary referendum upon us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm George McKay from Precinct 8, happen to be the chair of Precinct 8, and I don't want to speak for the liquor people because someone is here representing them, but I want to clear up the facts. If we're so concerned about the $57,000 as a government, we could have waited until the Springtown meeting and put it on the table. As a government, we know the rules. The liquor people didn't know the rules. The Open Space Committee and Sustainable Plymouth put it on in the fall. They're part of the government. They know the process, and if it was, the nip ban was passed in the fall, the liquor people had an alternative to come back to town meeting in the spring, as Mr. Cirque said, and put it on the table again, or they could take a petition, which they did, and put it in front of all of Plymouth. So I don't know what their logic was, but if you had a chance of turning over a vote, would you go back to the same people again, or would you try an alternative route? I suspect you would try the alternative route, which they did. So the way I look at the $57,000 is going to cost us that amount of money to run this election. And there's not one reason why it's costing us $57,000 that Mr. Cirque pointed out. There's possibly two reasons. One is the reason he stated, and the other is the reason if we waited to put this on the table in the spring, and we went through the same process, and the nip ban was passed, the petition would have cost us nothing because it would have been put on the May ballot. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
For the record, Peter Balboni, Piappi's Package Store. Yes, I just want to make a few comments, and we appreciate this. We live in America. This is great that we have this democratic process, that we can go through the process and everybody can have their vote and have their say. The liquor industry felt that this was put upon us, the package store, Plymouth, all our employees, our residents, our lifetime taxpayers here. You know, we feel that we want to have our opinion heard, and we didn't feel we had the opportunity to do that previously, so I'm just saying let the residents of Plymouth speak. And again, like I couldn't have worded it better, what George said. I mean, there was other opportunities to do this. And we're also suggesting other opportunities to solve this problem as far as the liquor industry goes. We've offered many opportunities to clean up the town. This does not address This ban does not address the litter issue, and it does certainly not address an alcoholism issue. And I've been in the liquor industry for 90 years in my family, so I can tell you that for sure. But we will be happy to go along with the process that the town suggests, and we look forward and we'll be happy with the results. Thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this topic? Anybody online? No? Bring it back to the board. Mr. Canty and Mr. Helm?
Would it be appropriate to make a motion at this time, Mr. Chairman?
As long as I'm able during discussion to ask a question of our public.
You would not be, so I can defer.
I know how you are. That's what.
Okay, easy, boys.
Having served under you on the Finance Committee, I know you're an advocate of procedure. And I do have a question, okay, which is relative to the date. Kelly, would you please explain what is the big difference between the 13th and the 20th? What is the problem with waiting a week and keeping it away from the Martin Luther King Jr. 3-day weekend?
The state will be mailing out those postcards as of that Monday, so people are going to check all elections this year. When they get to Saturday and they didn't get a ballot in the mail because I didn't have the chance to do it in 7 days, they're going to be confused. It's mostly to almost do a division between the referendum and the documentation that the voters are going to be getting for the March 5th primary.
So the state is most definitely going to be mailing on that date.
They are required, I talked to the Deputy Secretary of the Commonwealth, Michelle Tessanari, who runs the Elections Division for Secretary Galvin. They are required by law to have them out by September 15th. What she has said to me is that she can, January 15th, because that's so many days before the March 5th primary. What she had said to me is that's the drop dead deadline, and that she could help the mailing and make sure that Plymouth is one of the last communities to be mailed to. So hopefully nobody gets the postcards before the 13th.
Okay.
It's mostly just to, I know we're going to have to do a lot of publicity like I said, I hope the proponents and the opponents will get the word out there that we will have in-person early voting, we will have vote by mail. This referendum, to vote by mail, you need to be proactive. You're not going to get something in the mail that you can just sign and get a ballot. And if we waited and had it in January 20th, I can just anticipate all of a sudden voters are going to be like, wait a minute, I mailed in my postcard. I said all elections. I mailed it in on the 16th. Why didn't I get a ballot for the 20th?
I got you. Thank you.
I'd like to make the motion.
Well, Mr. Canty was going to make the motion, and we held back because, so Harry could ask a question, Charlie. And I do try to follow procedure, Mr. Helm. I'm just a little easygoing. Mr. Canty?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would make a motion that we go with the town clerk's recommended date of January 13th for the referendum, having received a notice that the petitioners have acquired sufficient signatures to trigger such referendum.
Motion by Mr. Canty. Do you have a second?
I would like to second that motion for discussion.
Second by Mr. Blutzer. Discussion?
My discussion, I'd like to respond to Mr. Cirque and to Mr. McKay, who I respect immensely, both of those gentlemen. And I just want to say that what happened, this is democracy at its finest. And you're questioning, these 1,800 signatures are residents of Plymouth. They're taxpayer residents, citizens of Plymouth. Okay? And you're questioning whether they have the right to do this. This is part of the process. for you to say that they should have got 10 signatures to go back to the same body that already turned them down just doesn't make sense. By the way, it was a very close vote, and I think they might have been able to change their mind, but their ultimate goal, Mr. Pioppi and the store owners who have, and I don't want to debate this because I already have publicly about that it doesn't stop littering, it doesn't stop alcoholism, it doesn't stop drunk driving. Instead of getting a nip or two, get a half pint. That's 8 ounces, and they'll drink that. They're going to drink more. It's not going to stop that, okay? So their goal is to get it to the voters. And the quickest way to get it there is to do this procedure and get it and they got the signature. They got more than enough citizens to sign this, and that's their right. That's our right as citizens in the town of Plymouth to do this. So for you to get up there and say what you've said, and I'm really kind of shocked by that, because you're questioning democracy here, and you're questioning the 57,000. It's the right of our citizens to do this, okay? It's their money. So that's all I have to say in it. I'm glad that this democracy, is happening. I would never question, no matter what side of this issue I was on, I would never question it. I'm really surprised you are. So anyway, thank you.
Any other comments? Mr. Canty?
I'd just like to thank the town clerk. I know that there was not really any great date for this based on the time frames that she's dealing with. I am not in love with having a referendum on Martin Luther King weekend, but given the other things at play, this postcard that's going to come from the state, I agree that that would confuse people. So I think this is, in the situation that we are in, the best resolution, and I thank you for working out the time frame on this.
Mr. Helm?
I also clearly, from my questioning, am not fond of that weekend, but I understand the confusion that would ensue, and no amount of prior notification or advertising would serve to unconfuse people. They would check the all elections, and they would not be able to vote for that election, correct. But I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you and your team also for the amazing turnaround. Okay, you had 5 days to certify these signatures, and you did it in 2. And as I understand, they came in several hundred sheets of paper. So I just wanted to thank you very much for all your efforts and your team's efforts to get this clarified as quickly as possible for the residents of Plymouth.
Thank you for that, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my staff. The petitions came in, I believe, on around 3-4 o'clock on Tuesday, and they spent, or was it Monday? And they spent all day of Halloween certifying the signatures. There were 240 sheets. We estimate there was probably closer to 2,300 signatures, and there was the 1,800 that we were able to actually recognize as registered voters. So thank you for that, but the kudos definitely goes to the staff to get this turned around as fast as they did.
That being said, Mr. Blitzer?
I vote yes.
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Unanimous. Thank you. Ollie's not here, right? Mr. DiMacedo?
Want us to dump those?
Plymouth Historic District Commission Route 3 signage update. Mr. Tubin?
Save them $1.25.
Mr. Chair, Select Board, Town Staff. Let me first say I'm not an expert on Mass DOT signage, highway signage. I have just, for about a dozen years, have thought this would be a great idea, which started on most of my drives down Route 6 down the Cape, seeing what you see in the packet. The Sandwich Historic District Heritage Museum and Gardens sign, which caused me to actually go to the Heritage Museum and Gardens and see the Sandwich Historic District, which is very fascinating and a great place to visit. So I just always thought, why wouldn't we have something like that? And over the years, I've talked with different state delegates, Senator Murray, town staff, different MDC, DPW directors, and just never seemed to get it off the ground. So not long ago, within the last several months, I was talking to Matt Moratori, and he agreed that it was something we should definitely look into. And I think Derek and Brad forwarded me the supplemental sign policy, which I think you have. So I know nothing about it. Reading through that, it definitely sounds like there's an opportunity there to have something like that done. So I think, as you've read there, I think the first step is to get town approval, town support, which would come from the select board. Then Matt mentioned if this was submitted to the state, that he would on Beacon Hill try to get some movement on it and try to get it passed. So I come before you if you have any questions that I could answer. But it looks like from what I've read, the trailblazing signs, which are separate from the actual historic district sign on the highway, once you get off the highway, the trailblazing signs would steer somebody to where you want them to go. And I think for us, it wouldn't be much. I think you go right down exit 15, you come to the end, and you just steer right into the historic district, waterfront, downtown. So I don't think we need much. So I think we would need a plan put together for the trailblazing, probably with the town and DPW. And then the town's responsible for those trailblazing signs. And then once we have that trailblazing sign plan in place with a map, then I think we can submit a request to the state for approval for the actual highway sign. And there are some. It's got to be 200 feet from a numbered route junction, 300 feet from other tourist info signs. And I actually went on to Google Maps and looked each way on Route 3. Heading northbound, there's already a bunch of signs. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 signs just between exit 13 and exit 15. But that's heading north. Heading south, there was only 2 signs. So, I would like to try for both sides, but I think we can definitely do something on the southbound side for travelers going down the Cape.
Well, I just want to comment. I've searched this a little bit many years ago when I built the 9/11 Memorial in North Plymouth. This is a very expensive proposition. It's not just you send a letter of support and the state puts up the sign. They're going to want the money up front, and they're color-coded, and it was years ago. And I believe the ones you're referencing down on Route 6 is the National Historic, whatever that's in. I can't think of the word. Harry's probably shaking his head. So, and that's why I think they're brown signs.
We're the same. Yeah, we're the same. We're a nationally registered historic district, so
right.
we can also.
So I'd like to see first how you're going to lay out the funding for this, and we can gladly give you, I'm sure, a letter of support, but we have 4 other members here. But if we're going to do that, I'd like to also check into it for the 9/11 Memorial on Route 3. I don't think it gets the recognition that it also gets.
Well, the fees on this page of that supplemental sign, it just has a fee of $250 to be charged. That's all it takes to submit this. Besides the fees of us, it would be the DPW putting together our own trailblazing signs, whether that's 1 or 2.
So you're not talking about a sign on Route 3 then?
Right, a sign on Route 3. That cost is picked up by the state. That's what it says in here.
The state told you that?
That's what it says in this booklet.
Okay, then.
It says the Mass
This is
DOT
interesting.
Highway Division shall bear the entire expense of fabricating and installing approved TOD signing for So it mentions in here that it doesn't say anything about paying for a sign on the highway. It just talks about the application fee, and we're responsible for the trailblazing signs.
Well, we'll definitely investigate it, but Mr. Helm?
Yeah, a few questions, Mr. Cuban. Where is this sign going to be on Route 3?
So I think that's part of what the Department of Transportation, like I said, there's 300, I haven't measured everything out, but it says 300 feet from an additional sign, from other tourist-oriented sign, 200 feet from numbered route junction. So, you have the sign for exit 15, and then there's 2 signs on the side of the road, so it would have to be 3, there's plenty of room.
So it would not be in one of the overheads as you approach the
I don't believe so. I've only seen them on the side of the road, the brown signs, but, I mean, maybe it could be. I'm not sure.
Okay. It would be best if it were that noticeable. You mentioned that we can't proceed with going to the state after the support of the board until the town has created the trailblazing signs plan.
Well, I'm sorry, so the plan has to be put in place before they'll put in this is what I've read here, before they'll put in the actual highway sign. That's when they'll need to see our trail, like, we don't have to put them up now. Once they have approved it and they're moving forward with putting the sign together, our trailblazing signs will have to be up before they put up the highway sign.
Yeah,
So just to submit it to the state, we just need a sign plan.
They are not necessarily connected except by timing.
Right.
Okay. Because I do feel that the trailblazing signs and that proposal needs to come in front of the select board. Because
definitely.
I am greatly concerned that we make sure that we do not guide everybody straight to the rotary at the bottom of Samoset Street, and that we ignore all of the merchants and restaurants and bars on Court Street.
Right.
Okay. That's, and I, not that I don't trust, but I think those trailblazing signs need to come, the proposal for that needs to come in front of the board as well.
I would suggest we do maybe a little working group, maybe a member of the select board, myself or somebody from the Historic District Commission, maybe the chamber or DPW, and we can, maybe walk around and look and see where the best spots would be to that.
Sure.
This is just, there's really no cost. This is just we just need support from the select board just for the proposal.
Thank you for clarifying the timing and the not connection between the trailblazing and this sign application. Thank you.
I think it's just a $250 fee to submit, but there would be a few things that would need to be put together. The actual map, we'd have to have a rough idea of where the signs are going to go. I think they want to see a map and a design so maybe we would have to have a group together and figure out the trailblazing. We don't have to install them, but I think they want to see that before they approve it. Is that what you?
Oh, so wait, they are connected.
Is that what you've gathered from
The
it?
state is going to want to see our trailblazing sign plan before they approve this sign on Route 3.
I would say
That
correct.
they are connected.
Yeah, I would say
They're
that's
not
correct.
disconnected.
They are connected, but I guess the steps of this would be, let's get the mapping of it first. It would go to you guys for approval, and then it would go to the state level.
But what about this proposal for just the sign on Route 3?
I think it's connected. I think
It
you have
says
to do all of
submit
it.
copies of written approval from community for trailblazing signs, a map showing location and design.
So it's like a bundle of stuff we have to send. So they are connected, and we have to get the trailblazing signs together and the plan for the trailblazing signs before we can put in the application.
Right, I'm sorry, I thought you meant like actually install them
No, I meant
just the plan and the map, yeah.
bureaucratic baloney that
Mm-hmm.
we all have to go through, whether at any level we deal with government.
Yeah.
Even local government dealing with state government.
Right.
So, okay.
John? Mr. Mahoney?
So, Michael, this idea obviously has merit. I agree with Mr. Helm. I think it just has to be vetted a little bit more, and I would certainly have no problem with you putting together a working group and returning in the future and, putting a potential trailblazing map up on the board so that everybody can see what
Sure.
we're talking about. And then there has to be a cost associated with that. I don't think this, and then do you need to go to town meeting for an appropriation? Things like that,
Right,
okay?
okay.
I'd like to see a broader plan, and the town's had this discussion many times about signage. And we're taking one little piece of town, and I think Harry touched on it a little bit, going down one street and going there. We have the plantation, we have a lot of things, Forefathers Monument. And I'd rather see something more broader, even if it all wasn't done at once. And I highly doubt that, I'm going to say no to a free sign at $250 from the state. Because if that was the case, I would have had my sign up 12 years ago, 11 years ago. It was an absorbent amount. And
Well,
the process was.
There's different rules for different types of signs. This
I
is for a
understand
historic.
that. But I think this needs to be thought out a little more and not just directed. What prompted this for you to come here tonight? I mean, was there a
Just-
reason that
Well, I just wanted to
somebody
find out.
couldn't find something? Or?
Just wanted to find out that if everybody said, no, I think this is ridiculous, I don't want to do it. I just wanted to know what maybe your direction, if it's something that would be supported, but we should continue or whatever. I'm just looking for direction, really.
Okay.
Like, I have nothing,
Okay.
to
No,
gain from this. I just think all
Well,
you hear
I
is
just wanted to ask.
downtown businesses.
Yeah.
Their businesses are struggling, the waterfront, so I think this would help to bring more people into the town.
I like the idea. I think we should look at, like I said, we've talked about this, not we, but the town has talked about signage across the community many times, and it's never really been completed. So maybe now's the time to start a discussion, and even it had to be phased, or, I'm not saying what part goes first, but I think it deserves an honest, open discussion with a few more people, and just see
Well,
what
I
those thoughts are.
think the whole signage plan of Plymouth is a whole separate issue. This is just for one.
Well, that's the problem I think is in this community. I'm going to be quite honest with you. We piecemeal everything. And that's why the town is in the shape it's in today. And if anything, this board and previous have tried to get things looking out 10 weeks beyond this. We're not looking for today. I'm not looking for today. I'm looking for 5 years from now. Dick Quintel's long gone from here. Probably Charlie, maybe Harry. Kevin likes it here. John loves it. So, But I think we need to look at a long-range, brought-out plan seriously. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not
Right.
saying I don't think it's a good idea. But if you're going to ask me to support it, I will not support just bing, bing, bang what you're proposing tonight. I'd like to look at have a discussion. I think it
Right.
warrants it.
Right.
That's all. Mr. Blitzer?
Mike, I say keep going. Bring something back to us, but keep going. I'm surprised we haven't had something like this years ago, promoting our historic district. Tourism is our number one industry in Plymouth,
Yeah.
okay? And something like this is only going to help. And so I say keep going. And now's the time to do it, and I'll tell you why. Because we've been working with the state to get on other projects. We've been trying to get work with Memorial Park to get control of that. We're working on that right now, and we're pretty close. So we get a good relate. The new administration has been very respectful to Plymouth, and we feel we have a good working relationship with this new administration. So now's the time to let's work with the state and try and get as much for Plymouth as we can out of the state, because we deserve it.
Definitely.
And but your efforts, I like what you're trying to do. And when I first were talking about signage, DOT, the sign that bothers me on Route 3 is between the old exit 6 and the Home Depot exit 5. I don't care what time of day or week you go. Going past 6, it always going down, it stops, it's slow, and then you go around the curve, and all of a sudden it takes off, all the time. And I believe the reason is a sign that people see about, Route 3 and that left-hand exit.
Yeah.
There's two signs. There's that one, then when you get past exit 5, the same sign. If they could just get rid of that first sign, I swear it would keep that traffic.
Yeah.
So if you get into a conversation with the right person, could you see if they could look into that? But anyway, no, keep going. I like it. And once you fine tune it, bring it back, and I'm sure this board will be able to help you. I
So
hope.
would the direction be to maybe work more with Brad and,
Yes,
and the
yes.
and town
Town
manager
manager.
to maybe get a working group together and just further it?
Absolutely.
To a point we have something to bring
As far as
before you?
I'm concerned, that's how I feel.
Do we, a vote or just direction or?
Just direction.
Okay.
Till we see what you bring back.
Does a rep from the board want to join as well, or no?
Yeah, Harry. Do you want to join? The committee?
Charlie, this sounds right up your alley.
Harry's talking about it, but I have no problem getting involved. But, Harry seems very interested in it, so I'll leave it to him, my senior select board member. I'm just a new guy.
Okay. I was just told that my mic isn't working even though it's on.
I hear you.
All right, so I'll be in touch with you, Brad, and
Anything else? Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Moving on to licenses. Hold up, please. On the Bees Ice Cream, 4 Ocean View Ave, I don't believe that's the Young American Club's address.
It's 170 Water Street. It's Village Landing. That's what it is.
Okay, but it says on here.
I know, I talked to Lisa Johnson today.
I'm glad you did. So are you correcting the address?
I believe it's the old Peaceful Meadows.
It is the old Peaceful Meadows. They already have a sign up in the windows of the former Peaceful Meadows.
So is the address 170?
170, that's Village Landing, 170 Water Street.
Okay. That correction is noted by staff. Waiting a motion on the licenses.
Make the motion to approve as a group.
Second?
Discussion.
Just a clarification, this is just the licenses. This is not
Yes.
administrative.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mr. Blitzer,
I vote yes.
Mr. Helm,
Yes.
Mr. Canty,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Going on to the administrative notes. We have two agreements, number 6 and number 7. Those parties, I believe, are both here. So if the board has no objection, I'd like to hear, we'll just do 6 first. The agreement with Greenleaf. Please come right up to the microphone. Make sure the green light's on, please, and identify yourself for the record.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the Select Board, Leslie Delaney Hawkins with the law firm of Prince LaBelle Ty on behalf of the applicant, Greenleaf Inc. With me is Ethan Fellman, who is the social equity applicant and majority owner, as well as Brian Wall, who is his professional partner and minority holder. We are proposing a warehousing and delivery and transport cannabis establishment to be located at 14 Apollo in what apparently used to be the batting cages, which is how everyone seems to remember it. There is no public-facing component to this establishment. There's no retail component. When we say warehousing, this is one of the new license types that's limited to social equity applicants for the first 3 years by the state. And that means that we can purchase product, store it, what's called white labeling, meaning that we would label it as our brand and then deliver it directly to consumers or to other cannabis establishments. Again, there's no public-facing component. The general public is not allowed to access the premise. There's no advertising that would lead them to the premise. We're in the process of appearing before the zoning board. Obviously, all of our signage and plans will need to be approved. We have had an excellent experience working with the town manager's office, all the planning department, town council, and we greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here and to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from board members?
Yeah, I have a question. You have other locations,
Go right ahead, Charlie.
what's that? Anybody else answer? It's a tough board. Do you have other locations that you?
Mr. Wall does have other
You do, okay.
locations.
I have a retail dispensary in Halifax that
Okay.
opened in June of 2022. So we've been
Right.
open 18 months. We're the lead sponsor for the Halifax fireworks for the last 2 years. Contributing member to the Halifax Police Department. We bought mountain bikes for them.
It's going to be, yeah.
Sorry. I'm the owner of Flower and Soul in Halifax, Massachusetts. Opened a retail dispensary in June of 2022. We're the lead sponsor of the July 4th fireworks for Halifax for the last 2 years. We've, helped the Halifax Police Department with mountain bikes. So we're an active member. We have participated in every Halifax cleanup day. Our employees are encouraged to do 40 hours of community service within the town. So we like to be a contributing member to the town in many ways,
Right.
so that we're just not a business, but we're an active member in the
And,
community.
and that's key to us. We want business partners with the town. Security, how do you validate somebody makes a call, they want marijuana delivered, and they have to be over 18?
Absolutely. So
How do you
The-
obviously you card them or?
the regulations around delivery are actually in some ways even more strict than the regulations around retail dispensaries. Currently, the CCC regulations require that each vehicle, we anticipate having 5 vehicles to start, and we have obviously assigned parking. That in addition to there being 2 individuals in the vehicle, secured storage, so it's not as though it's not Uber Eats, right? You're not just putting the cannabis product in the rear. There are cameras on at all times. Every individual not only is ID'd upon delivery, but that is all recorded. You also can only ID to a residence. You cannot, or I'm sorry, you can only deliver to a residence. You can't deliver to a place of business or a street corner or anything of that nature. All of the seed to sale tracking requirements are in place in terms of the physical location. This will be fully secured, fully cameraed, pursuant to actually going above and beyond the CCC's requirements to ensure that all the product is secure at all times.
You answered my next few questions, so.
It's what they pay me for.
Great answers. The last thing is, what are the hours of your operation for delivery?
We are proposing 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., which is in line with the requirements under.
The most important fact, there's 2 in a vehicle.
2 in a vehicle
Now, is
pursuant
any-
to the CCC
is there-
regulations.
Is there armed security? Nobody, is anybody?
No
armed?
armed security. That's something that the state actually does not look upon particularly favorably, but all individuals will be, the vehicles will be fully secured, the establishment will be fully secured with redundant backup
I
systems.
imagine the liability would be crazy if you were armed, but, so, anyway, okay. great,
Correct.
Great, okay. That answered my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have questions, comments? Well, considering if this is approved, I wish you the best.
Thank you very
And
much.
I hope that you can support Plymouth like you do Halifax. I know we're not supposed to ask you that, so I'm not going to.
You didn't ask that. We offered it up.
We always like that.
And
Perfect
yes.
answer. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're gonna make-
I wish they all went this easily.
We didn't vote
we
yet,
haven't
hold on.
voted yet.
Oh, come on.
If nobody's, no more-
It only gets easier after this.
I can make the motion. that we approve this?
We're going to have number 7 come up first.
Oh, okay.
You know, unless we take them all.
I don't know.
Please identify yourself for the record. Make sure the light's on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee and staff. My name is Tara Hopper. I am attorney and a social worker and co-founder of Bada Bloom. Bada Bloom is a social equity craft cannabis company. We focus on some of the smaller cannabinoids, not just THC and the quality of cannabis. We focus on the CBD, CBG for stomach issues, CBC for pain. We have here today, we have Michael Marinero to the left. He is our social equity applicant. We have Eric Martin, our Vice President of Community Relations. He is a former linebacker for the New England Patriots, and we're very proud to have him on board with us. We have Rhiannon Binder, who is our VP of Marketing, and we have Laura Biener, who is the head of and founder of Healing Rose, who provides all of those different cannabinoids. So we are really looking forward to coming into the town. If you allow, the town so far has been so wonderful to work with. We want to do something really unique and special to provide as an educational hub. My background is in social services. I started as a mental health advocate before I was an attorney. I've done small groups with developmental disability parents to go over how CBD helps with the different sensory issues that people with autism have. We just want to do something really special here, and we want to contribute to the different social service organizations, such as mental health organizations in the town, by your guidance and direction, of course. So whatever questions you have, we're so grateful to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
What's that?
Any questions?
I have no questions, no?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions.
Okay, so we have 10 admin notes. We can take them all together, or we can take them separate, whatever the wish of the board.
I would like, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to segregate out number 1 and number 2 and vote on them as a group or as a pair. That's okay. I'd like to make a motion on admin notes number 1 and number 2.
1 and 2 by Mr. Mahoney,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Canty. And I'm going to open it up for discussion. But as we do that, I'd like to say that I feel this was a group effort by this board and town staff. And everybody brought something to the table, and that's very important. And thank to Holtec, as far as this goes at this time. Everyone's playing nice in the sandbox. So that's good. And I'll turn it over to the board for any further comments. I think this is my third, so you know you served a long time. I think this is my third agreement with Entergy-Holtec minus Boston Edison. And this is, it's a good agreement for the time we're in now. Of course, it's all at the time where you are and what the economics and what the demand is. So for the final chapter for this, at the moment, this is good for the town, I believe. And everybody on this board added something to it, including staff. So hats off to you all 4 of us. Okay, anybody have anything else? Mr. Canty, then Mr. Mahoney.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with everything you said. I think everybody on the board and in the town manager's office and special town council helped on the town side. We had some back and forth with Holtec. At the end, we got to a good place with them. I think we have some disagreements about some things with Holtec, but on this, we were able to see eye to eye, and that was comforting and hopefully could be representative of future issues that come to pass with Holtec, but that remains to be seen. But I am cautiously optimistic. And I'd also like to thank town meeting for their near unanimous support. I know it came to them late because we were working hard to get it done for town meeting. We did everything we can to get it before them, but procedurally it just came later than we would have liked. But nevertheless, not only did they support it, they applauded our efforts, which was very nice and comforting. So it was just a nice collaborative effort for the entire community, and I think it puts Plymouth in a much better position than we were before the town meeting vote, and we are certainly glad to have this behind us. Thank you.
So just echoing what my two colleagues just said and adding a few more. So the origins of this agreement go back 2 to 3 boards, and obviously probably accelerated in mid-July up until the last couple of weeks, and really intensified dramatically. A lot of board members added into this, obviously, especially for this board. The legal counsel that was brought on board added a lot of value to this, assisting us in the negotiation. The town manager, the assistant town manager, finance director, director of assessing, routinely in executive sessions with us. We came into this. So one of the admin notes, I think it's number 2, is that there's a separate agreement where Holtec is not going to, they're going to sign an agreement where they're going to pass on their ability to potentially appeal their tax payment for FY22 and FY23. Admin note number 1 is an 8-year agreement. So the pilot agreement goes from July 1st of this year through June 30th of 2031. So it's an 8-year agreement. Okay, $13 million in tax payments. They allowed the finance director of this community to break those 8 payments into what she thought was the best fit, and she did so accordingly. There is a $3 million credit towards purchase of any and potentially all of the 1,530 acres that is currently in Chapter 61, and especially with respect to the land, that currently is in Chapter 61, so right now, if there was a legitimate offer on the land, the community would have basically 120 days to communicate to Holtec that they would match the offer, and then another 90 to execute. This takes this one out from, this goes to 180 and 90, so it takes us out to overall 270 days. So I just want to make sure that, you get into negotiations, in a perfect world, you're dealing from a position of strength, and I can tell you right now the community was not doing that. All the cards, pretty much all of them, were held by Holtec International, and I can't thank them enough. They were more than accommodating and showed a tremendous amount of patience with respect to the asks that this board had with respect to the length of the contract, the amount of monies in the contract, and shoring up our ability to put the community in a stronger position to secure any or all of that land. At every turn, they accommodated us. So I just want to make sure that Holtec International gets thanked for that, especially their intermediary, Mr. Patrick O'Brien, Herculean effort as the go-between in between that corporation and this town, and I want to thank him for that.
I'm all set.
Mr. Blitzer? Made a motion, right?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
make the-
No, we have a motion. You vote
I
yes?
vote yes.
To approve?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes, unanimous. So that leaves us admin notes 3 through 10, unless the board wants to take any separate. Mr. Helm?
I would actually like us to consider taking 3 and 4 separately so that Mr. Badeau can come to the podium and basically explain the 2 issues and as the dog hearing officer and the resolution. These are on the agenda, and I would like our residents to know what they are and how they were resolved.
Fine. Mr. Badeau, please.
So we had 2 complaints. One was of a dog being loose and defecating on neighbors' lawns, and another was an attack. I held 2 hearings. Both resulted in restraining the dogs. One was to muzzle the dog. And those notices went out last week.
So a question to you. I understand from reading the materials that we see that the first issue where the resolution is that the dog will be walked or restrained on a leash and a muzzle from now on. That seems to me that both the complainant and the person who owned the dog seem to be in agreement.
Yes, they are.
About the resolution.
Yes, they are.
The second one with the dog who is allowed off leash to defecate and do whatever on the neighbor's property, I would just like to read, and then I have a question. The respondent called the dog hearing officer to inform him that he would not be able to attend the dog hearing. He then told the dog hearing officer that he likes to let his dog act like a dog, but said he would take him to the state forest to allow him to walk without a leash. The dog hearing officer informed him that there is a leash law no matter where you walk your dog in Plymouth. He then said he would make sure that his dog is leashed and under his control while he is walking in the neighborhood. As our dog hearing officer, I'm going to ask you to make give your opinion. Do you feel that this resolution will actually take place? Because it doesn't sound from his statement that he is actually taking, pardon the pun, ownership of his dog's behavior or his part in allowing the dog to run freely through the neighbor's yards, defecating wherever it will.
So the hope is that he will follow the order. He was also sent some laws that show what will happen if he does not. Higher fines. So hopefully he complies.
And hopefully we will relatively soon have our first dog park in Cedarville, where he can take his dog to run free and defecate anywhere within the fenced area.
That would solve a lot of these problems.
And hopefully clean up after that dog.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion on 3 and 4?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Helm, second by Mr. Canty. Discussion? Mr. Blitzer?
I vote yes.
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Unanimous. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 left.
I move them as a group.
Second.
Second. Motion by Mr. Blitzer, second by Mr. Canty. Discussion. Seeing none, Mr. Blitzer.
I vote yes.
Mr. Helm.
Yes.
Mr. Canty.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Unanimous. Congratulations and good luck. No, I don't. What's here? What's this over? Oh, it is. I knew that.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Just testing.
Keep me honest, right? Anyone wishing to speak under public comment? Please identify yourself for the records, Mr. Leiden.
Steve Lyden, Precinct 17. I have to tell you, I've lost my patience. I don't have any more. I've been living down in South Plymouth for 40 years, and it was rural, and it was almost like a dirt roads, and that was fine. The ponds at Plymouth came in, traffic got more. That's okay, I understand that, it's progress. Now Red Brook has come in. The traffic is, it's crazy. Red Brook was supposed to do traffic mitigations on Long Pond Road and Halfway Pond Road 5 years ago, and it's still not done. Traffic backs up from Long Pond Road almost all the way back to Bourne Road at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, again this afternoon at 4:30. It's every morning. In the summertime, people now are using that as a cut-through to go to Bourne. There were supposed to be lights put in. I've heard all kinds of excuses why it hasn't been done. Well, we can't get a construction easement. We can't do this. We can't. I mean, all the rest of them are done. When the hell is this going to be done? This is crazy. The traffic is unbelievable. Trying to get out of Halfway Pond Road onto Long Pond Road, it's a wonder someone hasn't got killed. So I don't know what Makepeace is doing. Something's got to be done. Either stop giving them building permits until the intersection's done, or do something. But it can't go on much longer like this. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on the public comment? Is there anyone online, Chris? Mr. Bedell? Okay. Town managers report?
Be quick, we got two notes here. So the first one is we had a successful Halloween event last Tuesday. Another year. I'd like to thank the Chamber and all the businesses who participated, and a special thanks to our employee engagement committee who really put this all together. The Best Costume Award went to Sandy Strassel as Mary Poppins in procurement, and the Best Decorated Office went to engineering. So two good showings, and actually all departments in the town hall did a very good job this year. The only other note I have is just an update on the opioid funds. The Health and Human Services Department, under Michelle Brady's leadership now, has started the process to engage the individual groups and talk about what the procedure is going to be, whether it's a grant application, mini grant process, or if they're annual or their renewals or whatever the process is going to be. They've started talking about that. So more to come on that. But just a reminder that the town is getting over $4 million in the course of 18 years. So that's a lot of grant money that'll go to businesses and help out in the community. So more to come on that. But just so you guys know, the process of talking about whether it be a grant application or the process in general has started.
So you say that it started, have they actually set the programs up to apply?
That's
for
what
the
that's what they're doing.
What they're doing
They're
right
doing the
now?
background work.
Okay.
Yep, and they'll roll it out.
Okay. Yep. Any questions or comments for the assistant town manager? I just have to say I did stop by on Halloween for something, and it was amazing that the number of children that were in the building. Like Kevin was here, and you're absolutely right, engineer, and had the lights on the door. I mean, they really did it up. It looked nice. It really did. Everybody did a great job. And please, I know we took notes on Mr. Leiden's comments. If we could get some kind of response from Makepeace.
I believe there's a meeting scheduled at the end of November. There's been a couple of dates floating around, but there is a meeting between the DPW and AD Makepeace and Red Brook, I believe. So more to come on that.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's good. And I don't know if it's been done yet, but I'd like to welcome Ginny Flynn as our new administrative assistant. And I don't know if I'm using the proper term, but if I did, no disrespect. Welcome. It's been a pleasure working with you so far, and we wish you the best. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say, or Brad wants to add
welcome,
to
Jenny.
that.
We're excited to have you. We got big shoes to fill from Anthony, so but we're excited.
In case anybody wondering who the lady is sitting with us.
That's it. And then also thanks to Chris too. Chris,
Yes,
is
I was just
working
gonna go
closely
into
with Jenny.
that. Thank you for helping us out in the transition period. Anything else from the board? New business? Mr. Helm?
Well, pursuant to Mr. Leiden's comments, your comments on the Bourne and Long Pond traffic lights, and Brad, your comments about the meeting at the end of the November, I respectfully request that it be an agenda item at the beginning of December here. It's high time we heard from all parties about why this hasn't happened. I mean, I have to tell you, I avoid that area at that time, if I can. I won't. I just won't do it. It is that bad, and Mr. Lydon is not incorrect in his timeline. It's been a long time. Secondly, to the assistant town manager, at the town meeting the other week, the blighted property bylaw was defeated, and during the discussions, we were informed that a large part of the sections that were deemed by many people to be quote-unquote governmental overreach were actually an attempted clarification for the purposes of Plymouth and a limitation of state statutes that are already in place. And I would also like to request a presentation by the town manager or whomever about what those state statutes are, okay, and also why we aren't enforcing them when we seem to be very good at enforcing other state statutes and adhering to them, such as 40B, which is helping to overdevelop our town, yet we seem to have property statutes, condition statutes that we are not enforcing. And I think it would help to have an overview of those.
Thank you. Anyone else? Letters? Old business? Motion?
I make a
to
motion
adjourn.
that we adjourn.
Second.
I would like to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you at our next meeting. Have a good week.